Now, the Legacy Builder's Tool Chest is a comprehensive approach to legacy planning. It's been carefully designed so that we can provide legacy planning to those who want to do it themselves and also for others who will need to do it with help. Later on, I'm going to show you how this will lead to income for you in both ways. First, let me officially introduce you to the Legacy Builder Tool Chest and each of the drawers that are ready for business right now. It starts with a completely redesigned homepage for legacystories.org, where the tool chest is front and center with a 4-minute introduction video that sets up the whole process. Let's watch this video. Did you know that in only 2.5 generations, everything you know, all you have learned, all of your life experiences and dreams will be reduced to nothing more than a dash between a birth and death date on your headstone? Yet studies have shown that the more our children know about their family history, the greater chance they have to succeed in life. The good news is that today's technology has given us an amazing opportunity to build and pass down our legacy to make a difference in ways our ancestors could never have. Will your grandchildren and future generations look to you when they want to learn about family history? By taking the time to archive a collection of carefully chosen vintage photos, letters, and recordings, you will be honored as an effective elder and even more so as an awesome ancestor. We have a responsibility to make the world a better place for our grandchildren. The question is, will you be among the fortunate few who will rise to the occasion? LegacyStories.org is a family history library that offers a platform to document, record, back up, and share your personal history in a meaningful way. And the Legacy Builder Tool Chest provides you the education, resources, and support needed to execute a legacy plan that will survive the ravages of time. Each toolkit in the chest of drawers provides interactive documentation and preservation techniques, step-by-step instructions, and helpful resources. Content is provided by many of the top legacy experts in the world, many who sit on boards of the most prestigious organizations that support family history. Each member of LegacyStories.org receives the Life Lessons and Values Toolkit free because our life lessons are widely considered the highest priority to pass down. This will get you started building your legacy with immediate results. You'll be able to apply what you learned directly to your legacy portfolio when posting content in your free journal, and also by recording your voice describing vintage photos. Here's a brief sample.
This is a picture of when I got my first job. I had been home raising my kids for 15 years, but nobody would hire me because I had no experience.
Clock is referred to as the Harris clock because it belonged to my grandmother. She obtained the clock from her brother, Harry Sutton, sometime in the 1940s.
This is the boat that I came over on. It was supposed to take 9 days, but we had some storm at sea, so it took a little over 10 days before I saw the Statue of Liberty in the New York Harbor, which was probably the most exciting thing of the entire trip. When I saw that, I knew I had arrived.
You'll also be able to give voice to beloved ancestors because of a special arrangement with Family Search, the world's largest genealogy organization. You can link stories to over 3.5 billion ancestors in the official family tree of humankind. Now going forward, you can continue building your legacy collection by choosing additional toolkits that best suit your priorities. And also consider buying a gift card for a special person who deserves the opportunity to become an awesome ancestor. You can elect to do this work yourself or assisted by legacy experts in your area who can be found in our expert directories. So if you're a member of Legacy Stories already, just log in to begin. If not, it's free to join. It's your legacy, so pass it on. Now, obviously, this video is meant to encourage people to get started, which has been our mantra since the beginning. The tool chest is the catalyst that makes the Legacy Stories website unique above all others when it comes to legacy building. Now, as you saw in the video, the Life Lessons Toolkit is provided free as an incentive to convert site visitors into members. So let's look at the Life Lessons sales video to better understand what's included in that and how a typical toolkit works. Take a look at this survey. Baby boomers and their parents were asked to rank the importance of these shared priorities when receiving or passing down an inheritance. Now you can see on the chart that it is far more important for them to pass down their life lessons than their financial assets. Where are your priorities? Even wishes to be fulfilled and keepsakes are more important than financial assets based on this survey, and it's easy to understand why. Doctors Marshall Duke and Robin Fevish of Emory University created the Do You Know scale to measure behaviors in children based on what they knew about their families and ancestors. They found that children who score high on the Do You Know scale are associated with higher levels of self-esteem, an internal locus of control, better family functioning, lower levels of anxiety, fewer behavioral problems, and better chances for good outcomes if faced with educational or emotional behavioral difficulties. So when we pass down our personal and family history, it can be the difference between success and failure for our children and descendants. Documenting life's milestones and defining moments is less about you and more about them. It's the most generous and responsible thing you can do for your legacy. Since passing down life lessons is the top priority, the library provides the Life Lessons and Values Toolkit at no cost to members as a means to get you started on your legacy plan. In this toolkit, you'll learn how to document and preserve your life lessons quickly and easily. Choose any of the toolkits to continue building your legacy or that of a loved one. When your descendants become interested in family history, they'll turn to you because you may be the only elder who had the foresight to give the gift of legacy. Speaking of gifts, can you think of a more purposeful gift than to help someone special do the same for their family? Everyone should be an effective elder and an awesome ancestor. It's our responsibility and opportunity to make the world a better place for our grandchildren. And money alone can't do this. So if you're not already a member of Legacy Stories, it's free to join. Your Legacy Builder tool chest will be waiting to help you secure an honored place in family history and to be an effective elder and an awesome ancestor. Now we're taking advantage of the latest in ebook technology, so a lot of that tutorial content can be read in one flip book rather than scrolling endlessly down the page. Let me talk about the content of these tutorials. We know that wrapping your arms around a lifetime of personal history is overwhelming for most people. And you know as well as I do, it's one of the biggest reasons why people procrastinate. They just can't quite grasp the concept of life history, and it intimidates them. Especially with volumes of information and tips and technology out there, we have to be careful not to bog down everyday people with too much information. Instead, the way the tutorials work is we provide the essentials and then give them doable action steps so that they can see results quickly and immediately. Now, for more advanced information or other needs, they can contact you from the expert directories. And you can see we address this right up front in the guidebook. This way they know what to expect from the other tutorials without feeling like they're going to be intimidated by the process. Now, progressing through the Life Lessons Guidebook, you'll see that we encourage people to seed each of these lessons with content so they can move on to seed others. This way they can always return to add more, and it'll be easy to do that because they already have started something. The idea here is to keep them moving in the process and getting results. Now, the beauty of having the Legacy Planning tool chest built right into the Legacy Stories Family History Library is that people can add and back up their content as they are learning. Since the Life Lessons Toolkit is mainly focused on documenting their printed words, most people will be able to do this themselves right here on the site. But they may also want to record their life lessons, and they still need to back up and archive their content, which they may need your help with. But going forward, the rest of the tutorials will be more challenging for some people and will result in requests from assistance through the expert directories. Now, each toolkit is built to be improved with additional content and resources. The content that is currently being provided in each toolkit is sufficient to satisfy a reasonable value proposition for the price. Again, I'm going to talk to you in more detail later about why people will use your services, but for now, let me briefly walk you through this. Each toolkit may have content that is also included in others. This way, they don't have to go from one to the other to get the information. The main guidebooks are going to be totally unique for each toolkit. Now, each guidebook can be viewed without the use of the flipbook, simply by downloading and printing the PDF version with this link. Some toolkits are going to have videos embedded as lesson components, and all toolkits will have a resource section at the bottom with helpful links and documents. And you can see that we place logos that can be clicked to hire an expert from the iAsk or the APH directories. Again, the resources section can be expanded considerably as long as it doesn't become a full-blown library. A lot more content and resources are going to be included in each of these toolkits. Now, until a member has purchased any of the other toolkits, they'll only be able to view the sales pages for the ones they haven't purchased. For each toolkit, I've created a brief video and the basic information below. You can see that we've set the sales price at this point at $29 per toolkit. But we're offering a 50% discount now until we have more toolkits built and more content added. Then the $29 price tag will make sense. But we'll always have special promotions as buy now incentives. So let's view the brief video for keepsakes and heirlooms. Most of you have seen this, but now you can see an edited version so that it'll make the case why people should buy this toolkit.
There was a time when all these beautiful things were cherished possessions. Now they are heirlooms without heirs. Valuables that have lost their value because they have become divorced from their narrative. They are untold tales, poems in search of a poet. Although family stories are our most valuable heirlooms, the physical objects passed down through the generations are often the schooner on which those stories sail. There is the trunk that your grandfather brought from Ireland, the violin your aunt played on the concert stage, the silver service that survived the Civil War, the painting of your great-grandfather. Just close your eyes and think of those familiar treasures around you and how sad it would be to have them in the possession of strangers. Just as you need estate planning to safeguard the inheritance of your financial assets, you need a legacy plan to preserve your treasured heirlooms. The sum of their stories is who you are, who your children are, and who their children can be. The real value is not always the article itself. It is the story the article tells. But too often these stories have slipped away, are forgotten, or are remembered, but not passed on. Quite often we know an article or a painting or an art object is an heirloom, but that's not all we really know. Who owned it first? How was it acquired? Where? And by whom was it made? What were the circumstances of its acquisition? In whose homes has it resided? Just as you would have your estate planner carefully plan for the passing on of your financial legacy, you should make provisions for the inheritance of your family heirlooms. So where will all our legacy valuables be when the spiral glide of time passes us by? Will they be heirlooms without heirs? Or will they still have an honored place in our families, telling their stories, telling our children and their children who we are and who they are? It's your legacy. It's our legacy. Pass it on.
Now, assuming a member purchased the Keepsakes Toolkit, let's take a quick look at what they get to help them. Again, the main lessons are delivered in a guidebook that's viewed in full screen as a flip book, or it's downloaded as a PDF. Based on some of the information in the guidebook, they could be instructed to view information or videos below the guidebook. These videos are also going to have a big makeover soon, but for now they work. Now at the bottom of each toolkit, again, you can see the resources section where they can hire an expert or find related helpful links. Now without taking any more of your time, let's see the sales video for preserving legacy photos. And you can see I put some of the topics and subjects we cover below the video.
While it is critical to gather memories in legacy chats, another important source of material already exists. In closets, in boxes packed away in the attic, in long-forgotten scrapbooks. Every family has them, but often the people in the old black and white photographs might as well be strangers. A good place to start is a resource inventory. Not only in your own files and boxes under the bed, but calls to your cousins, aunts, uncles, parents, and grandparents. Ask what photos and family mementos they have. If these treasures are to be preserved and passed on, it is crucial they be gathered in one place. Too often, scattered stories become lost stories. A second task is identification. Who are these people? Where was this taken or recorded? What were the special circumstances? Usually, there is someone in every family, an older relative, who can answer these questions and can offer additional memories about them. Interesting stories and anecdotes. We recommend taping these sessions for future reference. Once you have gathered and identified the legacy material, the next step is to back it up on digital media such as CD and DVD. Our legacy advisors will help you find digital scanning and digital media services. Just as you would safeguard your other valuables in a safe deposit box, these legacy treasures should then be placed online. In this way, you can share your legacy stories today and appreciate them tomorrow. It has been said that the past is not the property of historians. It belongs to all people, and it grows more important by being shared. You help preserve the past. Perhaps more important, you help preserve the future.
Now you can see it's the same basic program with the Photos Guidebook. Now let's look at the sales page for the Loved Ones in Care Toolkit. We know that passing down personal and family history can have a positive influence on our children today and tomorrow. Sadly, the most endangered legacies are those of aging loved ones or who have life-threatening illnesses. Many have already degraded to the point where the ability to communicate is gone forever. For others, this is their last chance to touch their family and to be remembered for generations to come. It takes a special person to help others become an awesome ancestor. Maybe you're a caregiver or a hospice volunteer that could come to the rescue at the last moment. The Loved Ones in Care Toolkit provides everything needed to start building a legacy when time is not on your side. Much of this program was developed by Legacy Stories co-founder Dennis Stack, who over a 5-year period trained thousands of hospice volunteers how to record life stories of their patients, giving them a chance to be remembered as an awesome ancestor. If you have a loved one who is bedridden from treatment or is in an assisted or skilled nursing facility, hospice care, or in memory care, this toolkit was designed just for you. Recording life stories is a purposeful distraction for both the loved one and caregiver at a time when they need it both. Maybe you know a special person who is currently sacrificing to care for a loved one. They would surely want to know about this toolkit. So buy them a gift card to show your appreciation while there is still time. Take a look at all that comes with the Loved Ones in Care Toolkit below this video, and then go ahead and get started. It's their legacy. Help them pass it on. Now, we included this toolkit in our debut because we are so entrenched in the assisted living and hospice arenas right now that it's exactly the kind of thing caregivers are going to want to buy when they may not want personal assistance. Again, take a look at the guidebook. I wanted to point out here where Rebecca Robinson contributed some do's and don'ts that are really helpful to know. You can see that she received acknowledgement with a link directly to her website. Now, as thousands of families take these tutorials, this will position Rebecca as a leader in her field. You can do the same, and I encourage you to submit any content that I may be able to look at and include in any of these tutorials. Now let's go back to the main tool chest page. You can see there's a number of toolkits yet to be developed. I'm sure there's a lot of great content some of you can contribute as they're being built out. For example, I had the pleasure of meeting fellow CLA and APH member Ron O'Reilly about a week or so ago, and we talked about him putting together information about recording oral histories, which is his main expertise. And he also recommended a couple of really awesome and affordable voice and video recorders that are included now in the resource section that I had never known about. The idea is that we have gathered together the world's top experts on legacy and personal history. And the more you can build these toolkits into form, the more you can use your contributions and acknowledgments to your advantage. Now, as we complete each additional toolkit, we're going to promote them with special incentives to Legacy Stories members, as well as in press releases and a whole lot of social media. Each promotion can be targeted to the general public, but also present tremendous opportunities for professionals in that particular genre, such as, say, genealogy. The release of that toolkit will be circulated throughout the genealogy world, just as the estate planner toolkit will be circulated throughout the financial planning universe. Now, we know there are people who are already into personal and family history. They'll be the ones most likely to want to have these tools at their disposal. But there are many more who would be interested if they were made aware of it. And then there are those who, no matter how much they appreciate the benefits passing down a legacy, they accept the fact that they probably will never take the time to do anything about it themselves. And I'm afraid to say that that is the vast majority of people. Now, the good news is that they are also the ones who would much rather help someone else than themselves by referring people to products or services, or better still, by buying a gift certificate for legacy services. And that's why you see the recommendations of buying a gift card for others so much. And that's also one of the ways that you'll be able to make money by including the Legacy Stories library and the Legacy Builders tool chest in your mix of products as a professional legacy provider.